Once again, this being a season of gratitude, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has showed up over at the Florida Maki Patreon channel. $1 a month, less than that a year, gives us the ability to talk with the gloves off and not worry so much about the censorship that seems to be getting worse and worse as the days go by. Those of you who were present during our live stream earlier today can attest to this when the governor was talking about things that the powers that be don't want you to really know about. There was a strange interruption in the feed, and we had to do the live stream in two parts. It's also a good place to talk here at twitch.tv/Florida Maki. It's kind of a different platform. It's where you play a game in the background, but while this is going on, you have conversation. I know this is kind of a darker area. We were in more of a dungeon type area last night, but this particular clip, you kind of run out of it a little bit and you come into more of the daylight here in a minute. It's going to be something where we're going to have to think outside the box as we go forward and do things differently, because the world that exists now isn't the same as the world that existed even 5 years ago. But in today's video, I would like to share something with you that came to me while I was working on some guitar stuff. This is a picture of what I have set up for my guitar studio. Hopefully soon I'll be releasing some new music. YouTube doesn't really like it for some reason. Whenever I post a video of a song, my view rates go down and they delete subscribers en masse. If I do 2 or 3 songs in a row, like I did at one time, I could lose up to 1,000, 1,500 subscribers right away. So that's why I don't do it as much. And I might be putting it over at the Florida Maki Alpha site, the backup channel, but I'll try to put some stuff up here on the main site as well. But as you know, recently I have ruffled a lot of feathers by making the statement that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is going away. It's a Ponzi scheme that's losing its value. The game is up, and a lot of people have come to the channel and said, I just don't understand it. I owned a Bitcoin miner at one time before I realized what was going on, and I got rid of it. It's a very different thing now than what it used to be. It's run by pirates. They're sophisticated pirates, but in today's video, I'm going to show you an analogy that's going to be able to clear this up in your mind in a way that hasn't been done before. Many people don't understand what cryptocurrency is or why it has value or where it comes from. Well, there's a reason for that. It's plunder. The basic idea and the premise is this: Bitcoin could not exist without the dollar. It could not exist without fiat currencies, and I can prove it. I'm sure there's a lot of Bitcoiners out there shaking their heads right now. Where did the initial stake come from? You see, that's the key. It's anarchists trying to destroy all concept of currency. They need to sell you on, this is why I put these images together. They need to sell you on the image that anarchy means you can go build a cabin way out in the woods, far away from police and government control, and you and your chosen person, your loved one, can go out and, yeah, you might only have wine and bread and a little bit of meat, but man, you'll be so much happier. You see, really, this is what anarchy looks like. And even this image romanticized. If I showed you what anarchy really looked like, they'd kick me off the platform permanently. This is just the 17th, 18th century of anarchy. Trafficking in this, trafficking in this, and trafficking in this. But what's that analogy I spoke of? I gave a hint in earlier today, in the live stream, about what this was really about. I want everyone out there, and even you Bitcoiners, to imagine in your mind's eye a medieval village, Europe, 1700s. Just a small little hamlet. You've got butchers and bakers and the proverbial candlestick maker. You've got your lapidary and you've got your blacksmith. You've got an apothecary and a seamstress, a cobbler. Everybody has their job, and everybody contributes. And of course, they have a means of exchange. They have gold pieces and silver pieces and copper pieces, and they've worked out a system amongst themselves that seems to be fair and equitable. And generally speaking, most of the needs of everyone is met. Now, the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker know that everybody in town at some point is going to need meat, bread, and some way to light the evening. Same thing with the cobbler. Same thing with the blacksmith and the apothecary. At some point, there's going to be a need for those services. And once again, they have their currency. It's not perfect. Sometimes people believe that maybe the bread is not really worth that day what's being charged for it, or perhaps the apothecary prescribed a medicine that didn't work as well, and perhaps somebody thinks, I don't know. I mean, I paid quite a few coppers for this. But generally speaking, it works. And generally speaking, people are happy. Now, there's something that happens one day. A couple of bards stroll into town, playing instruments. And the people of the village, they haven't seen anything like this before. These instruments. Oh, they've sat around and sang songs before, but the music is just incredibly beautiful, and they've never seen anything like these guitars. The playing seems super complicated, but what beautiful music they make. And so they convince these two bards to put on a concert that evening and stay the night. And they'll gather together, some silvers and coppers, and they'll provide them, of course, with lodging and with meals. And if they would just play a concert for them, because they'd never seen anything like it. And so they do. And everybody is just enthralled. Absolutely just beyond words. They enjoy it so much. So afterwards, as the two bards are preparing to leave the next morning, one person says, I must have one of those guitars. If you can't sell me yours, can you tell me where I can buy one? Well, of course, the bard says, yeah, there's a town not far from here, near the castle, and there's a luthier there. And just go into town and ask, and they'll take you right to it. And so he goes on his journey, and he goes and finds the luthier shop in a town he'd never been in before. And he walks in, he sees all these guitars. Now, I know everybody's still like, wait, wonderful story, Maki. What's this have to do with cryptocurrency? Stay with me. Stay with me. All of these wonderful guitars, different shapes and sizes. And he asks, wow, these are great. This one looks like the one I saw. How much is it? And the luthier replies, 500 gold pieces. And the guy just looks at him like he's crazy. He's like, that's an insane amount of money. That could feed a family for a year where I come from. Well, the luthier explains, I have to find sources for the wood, sources for the strings. It takes an incredible amount of skill and effort to create one of these instruments, and it's not a necessity. People don't need it. I might sell 2 or 3 a year. In fact, some people bring me other ones, and they want to purchase other ones and use these as down payments. You see, I had to have a stake. I had to put up a lot of my own money to create this luthier shop. And I had to be able to teach people how to even play once they bought. That took an incredible amount of time. You see, I don't run a butcher shop. I don't run a candlestick maker's shop or an apothecary where there's a demand all the time. I had to take a lot of my own real money and put all of the things together and source all of the materials and build guitars and learned guitar for myself before I even made a dime. You see, that's what it comes down to with the pirates. You see, the pirates don't want you to know that for their Bitcoin to have value, there had to have been a stake in dollars first. And every time their Bitcoin loses value, what do they tell you to do? Go buy more Bitcoin. With your what? With your fiat dollars. They say, buy the dip, buy the dip. Oh, it looks like things are going down. This is a great time to buy more Bitcoin. With what? That's right. You can't buy the dip unless you got fiat. It's what we were talking about yesterday, the fallacy of sunk cost. It's what gamblers do. They throw good money after bad, thinking they can turn their luck around. It's like, I've already spent this much money or time. Whatever, I've got to keep going. You see, there's no reward at the end of the game. Nobody asks this question. I talked about this yesterday, this guy who lost the hard drive years and years ago when he was mining Bitcoin, when it was worthless, almost worthless. 75,000 Bitcoins, now worth $350 million, something like that. Where did he get the ability to mine the Bitcoin in the first place? That's right, the dollars. To buy the computer to do it. See, imagine somebody strolled out of the forest or strolled out of the jungle and they hadn't participated in modern society. And you felt bad for them and you wanted to help them set themselves up with clothes and food and a place to stay and a car and a job and all that. Would you hand them a smartphone and say, here's your Bitcoin? They wouldn't know what to do with it. First of all, there'd have to be high-speed Wi-Fi wherever they went. And there'd have to be a power grid wherever they went. You see, you could hand them dollars, quarters, dimes, pennies, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, whatever, and they could go to the local mall and outfit them and be a perfect thing. You could set everything up. Bitcoin? See, you need Bitcoin to get dollars. You need Bitcoin to get dollars. And that's what brings us back to here. You need dollars to get Bitcoin. There's no way around it. People have even said lately, well, Bitcoin was never really meant to be a currency. That's not what they were selling it as a long time ago. They were selling it as a replacement for the dollar, but now that it's not, now they sell it as an investment. What investment advisor would counsel you to invest in something that has these wild swings? 50,149 on the 13th. 46,747 now. That's 5 day. Up and down, up and down, up and down. 1 month. 1 month. During, and they also said, it's a hedge against inflation. Remember this, Bitcoiner. Can you explain this? It's a hedge against inflation. Okay. 1 month ago, if you had Bitcoin at 63.94, it is now 46. That's a quarter of its value. The dollar hasn't lost a quarter of its value. The dollar has not lost a quarter of its value in a month during high inflation. Can you explain? Oh, that's right. Your explanation is take more cash and dump it into Bitcoin to pump it back up. See the game they're playing? It's plunder. It's absolute plunder. They've sold people on the idea that anarchy means a cabin in the woods, just you and your loved one, and enough to get by. You're going to end up broke having financed gun runners, drug dealers, and human traffickers. And that's the reality of it. And there's no way around that. And that's what's coming. I don't think everybody who owns Bitcoin is a bad person. I just think a lot of people got schnookered. They've been selling this kind of crap for years. So, anyway, I will leave it there. But in case anybody was wondering, by the way, who these actual bards are, this is a duet called Blackmore's Night. And it's Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple and his wife, Candace Knight. And they do modern Renaissance music. And it is really an incredible thing to hear. He is a master guitar player. And she's a really good vocalist. But they put the whole medieval Renaissance look on all of their concerts. And they even do medieval Renaissance music reimagined with modern instruments. It is an incredible thing to see. The name of the band is Blackmore's Night. BLACKMORE''S Night. And truly, you have not lived until you've heard them do a concert. It's an incredible, incredible thing. So anyway, once again, God bless everyone who has joined us over here at Patreon. I am truly humbled by your support. It means a great deal to me. It makes a big difference in my life. Those of you who join us every night at Twitch, it's a great time to kind of hang out and kill a few orcs, so to speak. And the game is visually beautiful. It's got a really great, as you can see here, background. It's pretty much what you would think for Lord of the Rings. It's the story is very predictable, but it's almost calming and relaxing the way they've done the background and all of the little stuff. So hard to describe, but also working on the music. It's been a while. A lot of the videos that you guys see I've posted, those are many years old, and it takes some time. In fact, the vast majority of the music that you guys have seen so far has been from long before I was ever even on YouTube. So I will leave it there. God bless. Have a great weekend. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys tonight on Twitch.